All right, guys, quick interruption for the podcast. If you guys are questioning what workouts you should be doing every day, I got a solution for you. Go to my site right now, bradleymartin.com. Sign up. There's daily workouts every single day. There's a ton of ebooks. There's a ton of stuff on there for you guys to use. If you guys are looking to change your body, change your life, feel better, look better, be stronger, whatever it is, go to bradleymartin.com. Let's get back into this podcast.
Oh, we're going.
Yeah, no, we don't plan.
Okay, word. Yeah. No, but this is like, it's almost surreal because I've only been doing like the influencing thing I posted my first video 8 months ago. So like up until 8 months ago, I was like always a fan, like seeing clips in here, and it's like, oh, and now I'm sitting here.
That's sick. Well, bro, you've done it. You've done it really fast.
Yeah, it's been, I think just there's so many people have done it before me, being able to watch like how other people did it, like taking pieces and strategies, like especially the Andrew Tate method.
Okay,
bro,
I love
he is like he
which
gets a lot of hate.
Which method?
Obviously,
though?
like not like going on the internet. For a little bit, I was considering like when I was trying to like find my way on the internet, I was like trying to go viral, but like still be myself to a degree.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, it's like I could just like be super misogynistic and stuff like that and do like the sneaker route. But then it's like I don't really like with like that's just not me, you know. Like I wanted to stay myself, but specifically the Andrew Tate part that I copied was his clippers. Like I pay people to just chop up my stuff, and it made me go viral like immediately because I get probably 40 posts out a day, even if I'm not, making content.
Yeah. That's I mean, that the interesting thing about that is you're a great example of what you just said is how people are successful on the internet now. Like it's not even so much views on videos, even though that's obviously great. But like what I find interesting is that you've had success in your. I'm curious to know like if it lasts. I'm not saying you will not last, by the way, but. Because I keep having this conversation with people about having success or creating success now on the internet. It's so different than when it was like a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago when I did it. It was just like you made content like you're making, and then the videos was the thing that spoke, but now it's all clips. Mm-hmm. So how do you think, like what's differentiating you? Why you think you're more successful than, someone who popped up around the same time, kind of got popular and kind of fizzled out? Why do you think you still have success? Because what I think is that to have the success that can stick is like you just said it. You saw things that worked for other people, but you were still yourself. Because I think a lot of people see things that work and they just do those things like without actually being themselves in it.
Yeah, well, that was a huge thing. So I first like got on social media and I tried for 2 years, no success. I had 20,000 followers on TikTok. And I realized it was because I was watching other people. Like I was obsessed with other people's content, and so I found myself copying other viral videos, other clips, other like the exact style of content, like stuff Andrew Tate would say. It would like really like resonate with me, and then I would kind of make it a part of my personality. But I decided I'm just gonna like, in order for me to be able to be like my truest self on the internet, I need to not watch any content. Yeah. So I stopped consuming content entirely, and I still don't consume content like to this day. Like I scroll on Instagram here and there, but like I don't follow anybody.
All right, guys, quick interruption for the podcast. Football season is back, and that means Prize Picks. We are back. We're in full effect. Code Bradley right now. For your very first lineup, you go right now, sign up, download the app, put in code Bradley. $5 lineup, they're going to give you $50 for it's basically free money. You literally can't lose. And if you're like me and you like watching football, you like a little sweat on the line, Prize Picks is the easiest way to do it. Literally just download the app, scroll, pick more or less, boom, boom. Super simple. There's tons of games Sunday. They're kicking off Thursday. Yeah, I'm already locked in. I'm hating Travis Kelce right now. I'm not gonna lie though. But if you guys want to play, you want a little sweat on the line, code Bradley, download the app right now. Super simple, really fun, really easy to use. And yeah, they'll give you basically $45. Well, 50 technically. If you lose, you just put in 5 and you basically get $45 for free, so you can keep playing or have fun. Enjoy the weekend. Football's back, baby. Let's go. Let's get back into this podcast.
So once I stopped consuming content, I was able to be like, my mind was no longer infected with like you will really be stripped of your identity if you watch other people's content. And it's scary that you see so many people, even that are cloning me. Like they just like act exactly like me. Like everything I say is like the Bible to them. And that's just how it goes with these influencers. So once you stop watching content, you're able to think so much clearer and think for yourself and have just like more genuine, one of a kind content. So I started posting that no one had ever seen before because it's me, my unique one of one self.
Yeah.
And so that's like really what made the difference for me, because anybody can have 100,000 followers on Instagram. Like you just copy like the viral clickbait, all that kind of stuff, like the trends, you can copy that and go viral, like no problem. But that's when you fizzle out really hard. But I do have to stay like humble and like, cause I've only been doing it for 8 months. Like I could fizzle out. Like, you know, this is when people, we'll find out in 6 months.
We'll see how it ages.
Because bro, this is when usually people's lifespans are like 8 months. So like, this is like where I find out. But I think, I had a lot of fear like a few months ago about surrounding the whole thing of like, what if I fall off? Like this is my job now. Like I need the views to stay up and up. Because you see somebody like, even though Sam Sulek is still killing it with the views, like Sam Sulek, you know, he's still #1 in the fitness industry. Or you see somebody like Alex Eubanks, their views are down like 90%, 90+% from their peak. And it just makes me like, when I was studying social media, what's the difference between Sulek and like somebody like Jake Paul? Because Sulek was just as viral off the bat as Jake Paul was. But now Jake Paul is an A-list celebrity, and Sulek is not on that path. He obviously doesn't really want that. But just like, what is the difference? And it seems like there's just no evolution with his content. Like it's the same thing every day. It's the same thing, which is great. People enjoy it. But like Jake Paul went from his like weird like teenage hype house self, and now he's
How old were you and all that? How old are you now?
22.
Holy shit.
How old did you think I was?
I around that age.
Yeah, word.
But so you were watching Jake Paul the hype. You were watching that when you were what, like
15 or something? Like,
yeah,
bro,
like that was forever ago.
I was a sophomore in high school watching Logan Paul, Jake Paul, and so it's like, what's the difference between them? And they evolve their content and keep it new and fresh. And as they evolve as a person, they continue to make content that's new and exciting. Like if you do the same thing, every day, like you're gonna fizzle out. And that's what most, especially with fitness influencers, because fitness is so boring that like
it is like
nobody wants to watch that.
I've done it for so many years now, and like I had to just stop making straight fitness videos because you're just like, how many times could I talk about a bench press, bro?
It gets, and there's so many people doing it. It's so saturated. And then even more so now, you have somebody like Sam Sulek who just does it better than anyone else. So it's like, it's not even worth it to make fitness content anymore.
Yeah, I get it.
And I was going to ask you about that. You never have fitness influencers on this podcast. Like I guess I'm like not really a fitness influencer anymore, but other than I saw you had Greg Doucette. Like
I've had Greg, I've had Larry, I've had a few people. I've had Brian Shaw. I've had guys that I've kind of like made content with over the years. But historically, I mean, they're just the shadiest people I've ever experienced. Like they're just completely terrible humans.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Who just like see opportunity and take from people.
Okay.
I mean, I have a whole story connected to that, which we're not going to get into, but I just don't like, I never had good moments with people in that space. The ones that I do, like they're still kind of in my life. Like I filmed a lot of content with Dom Mazzetti. I don't know if you remember that kind of back in the day with the bro science.
So funny.
And
is he around still? He posts?
He is. He doesn't post much as bro science as much anymore. We were actually talking about making some content again together, but he's at my gym all the time. But regardless, like I just haven't had great experiences with those people in that industry because it's just like, it's all what can I get? Yeah. And it's all like, I remember years ago, like just being put in this position where I had to deal with all this drama on the internet, and it was like the same people who the week prior were dick riding to be and collab with me. Like imagine I hit you up and was like, yo, dude, let's do a video. And you're like, yeah, cool. I'll be back in like a month or something, right? And then something bad happened and someone's talking shit about you on the internet, and then I can make a video and say, yeah, that guy sucks.
Yeah.
And then I do it just because I can get views sooner than later.
Yeah.
Like all my experiences in it just led me to be like, I'm not really like, I love the fitness industry because that's my life. Like I have everything because of the gym, because of that space. And I did exactly what you talked about, like just kept evolving what I was doing. That's what I've been doing for so many years. And you nailed it. Like when you said earlier about Jake Paul, Logan Paul going like, this is who I am, and then now this is who I am, and I'm learning this and I'm growing, and then just involving that in their content as they continue. That's why they have the success. So
Yeah.
anyways, and a long answer to answer your question, they just suck. They're just
When you saw my, like, did you see me as a fitness influencer? Because a lot of people, like, I'm classified still as a fitness influencer.
yeah, like your base is, but like out of all the people that I've seen over like the last, I would say 2 years who've popped up and just fizzled out, to be honest, you could tell that your content is unique to you. And then that's why you have the success that you have right now on the platform. And I don't think it'll fizzle out because you understand that one thing, like, let it be unique to me, whatever the I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I think that if you can maintain that, then you'll always maintain like what you're talking about. At least it feels like you're trying to achieve, right?
Yeah. 100%.
So it's just kind of like a lot of people, yeah, they were the new face. They had a nice body. That was it. You know what I'm saying? New face, nice body, new face, nice body, rinse, repeat.
Yeah, exactly.
But now there's a million of them. And everyone's like, all right, cool. But what makes people different is like their actual personality, their relationship to it, the way they speak to their audience, all this stuff that a lot of those people that go like this and like that, they don't do because they don't know how to. They know how to be like, look good on a camera and that's it.
Yeah, you don't even post. You have been out of fitness for years, it feels like. I've never seen, you're just a celebrity now that happens to be jacked. Pretty much. Like,
that's pretty funny.
but that's the goal, honestly. Yeah, being so obsessed with.
Dude, I love the gym and I love the fitness space, but it's like, I did that for 8 years straight. I posted, bro, at one point I posted on Instagram literally for 8 years, every single day about like some sort of fitness related content or viral related fitness related content. And I'm just like, dude, you get to a point where I'm like, I remember TikTok came out and I was like, dude, I got to do this now. Like, did I just did for fun?
TikTok.
Like, cause look, you said 8 months.
Yeah.
8 years, brother. 8 years.
That's insane.
Like, it's,
bro. I see people. I see Larry Wheels. He has 3,000 posts on his Instagram. I don't know how many you have.
Oh, I've deleted thousands, thousands and thousands.
How old are you now?
35.
And you started when you're 27?
22, 23.
22?
23. No, excuse me. Started fitness, I mean, when I was 15. It's very serious since I was 17. And then posting content, yeah, like in 2011. So however old I was then. Like early 2011.
Oh my God, bro. I was like 8 years old.
Yeah.
And yeah, wow. I guess I'm blessed that the era I'm in is like TikTok makes it so much easier to go viral,
the clip
bro.
thing is insane. That's the key. Like truly, it doesn't even matter like it did years ago. Like you had to have views on videos. Now you just need moments that can be clipped and repurposed.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you also need to stand out in a way. Like, obviously not everyone's going to like everyone, right? But the thing that's key now is like what you said is just being you in relationship to whatever you're doing and and just holding it true. Like instead of being like, oh, I'm doing this because I think they want me to say this or I think they want me to do this. That's all bullshit.
Yeah.
And most people do that.
I was there when for sure I was there.
Well, that's why you didn't have the success.
And I was not getting anywhere with it. But you also need a solid like core content, long form content to make money. Like you can have viral clips, but a viral clip on somebody else's account isn't going to make you any money. Like you need somewhere to like gather people and like, you know, you can sell your product or whatever, however people make money, like YouTube revenue. I don't know. I can't even monetize my YouTube. It's
why not? Because of the gambling stuff?
Well, most of it gets age restricted and like a lot of copyright stuff. I'm horrible about like background music and it's such a pain in the so. And I'm also weirdly paranoid about it. Like I feel like I kind of can get away with some stuff because I'm not in the program. Like if I'm in it, they're gonna watch my account much more closely. Because like my last video, I would it's not crazy, but I would be making like an extra like 20,000 a month if I was monetized. But it just doesn't feel worth it because I'm afraid of like getting videos taken down, account taken down. Without YouTube, I would be set back pretty large.
Yeah. So you think YouTube is your best platform?
Yeah, by far. It used to be Instagram, but then I got my Instagram banned, and that set me back so far. Well, bro, I was posting videos of me just taking steroids and working out. Like it wasn't even, which was another thing. That's why I went viral originally in short form because
Like
nobody,
injectable?
yeah, bro, nobody ever. I'll show you my TikTok. Nobody ever thought about posting videos of them injecting steroids and then working out.
Yeah, because
No. But okay, here, like I haven't done this in months, but this is.
Wait, can you pull it up here? We gotta because we're gonna see this video. I want to see.
Yeah. Pull it up there because it's not gonna load on my phone.
IG.
No, that one's deleted. Look up on TikTok, just TOGI or Shane Stoffer.
Shane Stoffer.
But yeah, so that's why I got banned on Instagram because I was just like injecting steroids and then I would make a workout edit and it would go every video 10 million views every single day.
I'm surprised they didn't get you banned on TikTok. Like, how did they let that go?
Bro, I think
that's
it's
why
still
people,
up. It's like it's on the internet right now.
I think that's why people didn't do it before because it would just
Yeah,
be like,
bro. But no, yeah, there's something about it that just people literally 20 million views a week minimum.
they were probably like, I can't believe this mother is actually doing this. Oh,
These are like my new clips. Where's my account at? So yeah, just look at like the most recent one. I don't think I inject anything in this, but like I'm taking steroids in it. Like that's Anadrol.
oh God, Anadrol.
This is when I was like really.
Oh, I
into it.
see. You did it you did it so fast that it's like, okay.
And if you scroll deeper, they started getting more strict, so like I couldn't pin as much. But like that one with 3.7, it looks like I'm about to inject.
Right
something.
above it. Oh.
This one's pretty quick too. Oh, so I don't inject in that one. They started banning some of them, like the old ones. Like I've probably had 30 videos taken down. But yeah, I would just take steroids, work out, but look at the views. Like,
Yeah, it's funny. It reminds me of like my old workout videos minus the fact that I never put any steroids
well,
in
bro,
there.
I had to put the steroids in because I'm small, bro. It's like my physique alone isn't gonna get any views. So it's like,
well, you're not small,
but not big. Like somebody like Shizzy is way bigger, and he had like the fake natty stuff, which made him viral. But like to go viral for your physique, you have to be IFBB pro, and even a lot of IFBB pros, people don't give a shit about. Like I'm not small, but for social media standards, that's not 5 million views every post. So it was like, how do I get more views? Like, just take the steroids, and bro, people love that. Like, cause people hate it so much. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, steroids to look natty, yada yada yada. Like, why are you promoting drugs? Which is fair. Like, I don't stand behind that content anymore. Like, it's not a great impact on the world by any means. Like, now I'm more of a comedian, which is I think a much more beneficial good kind of content to the planet. But that was the stuff that really did it for me first. But anyways, my Instagram got banned, and that was like a huge.
it's so. I just think so many kids are gonna be like, "That's the ticket,
bro." I'm gonna lie, when I was doing it, I would probably get like 50 DMs a day, and like, thank you for inspiring me to take steroids.
No.
And like a lot of these kids were like children, bro. Like I'm not gonna lie, there's definitely a lot of kids that like. But bro, I don't feel like guilty about that at all because if you take steroids because of a video you saw on the internet,
oh, you're dumb,
idiot. Like.
You're dumb. Yeah.
Like, come on, let's like think for ourselves here. So
Yeah.
I don't take any responsibility for these kids. But that has definitely fucked up a lot of kids out there.
Yeah. Well,
Well, they were to start like that. What if they're making their decisions based off of that kind of shit? Like they had
what
something.
what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. Like no matter what, they were gonna be. And maybe I taught them a good lesson. If anything, you're welcome. Kids
Look at that.
take
Look at that. This
steroids.
guy,
Now
wholesome
you know,
guy,
bro.
dude.
Now you know. Don't listen to people on the internet because now you got hormones. TikTok.
Yeah, and they probably realized it like it wasn't what they thought.
Yeah,
you know?
bro, quick too. Like after probably about a month of taking Rad 140, it
So
gets messy fast.
What you take Anadrol like often? Like what do you take? Do you ever talk about exactly what you take?
Oh, dude, all the time. And people like my last cycle. I know it probably doesn't look like it because I don't work out anymore. Like,
You sound like me, go.
bro. Well,
Yeah,
I'm on, like right now. I'm on a gram of testosterone, and it like I haven't worked out.
Why a
in-
gram?
Because
Why a gram?
bro, okay. So my last cycle, I'm coming off cycle, so I'm actually coming down. Like so.
A gram is coming down.
Yeah. It takes
Okay.
a while because so last cycle, I started it like 4 months, probably 4 months ago. And I was like, at the time, I wanted to do one last big blast and like really look freaky for the internet, kind of like push the limit. So I took 1.5 grams of test, 1 gram of EQ, 6 IUs of growth hormone
A day?
a day. What? 30 Superdrol pre-workout, 30 Anadrol pre-workout.
Holy.
But bro, then I just stopped working out, and I was on for this whole time. I hopped off early because I was on 2.5, 3 grams of steroids, and I literally didn't work out. So I was getting smaller.
How are you not wanting to work out with all that in you? I feel like I would have went crazy, bro.
I would
have had to break walls.
I was just nonstop. Like, I was just too busy, bro. Not like too busy to like work out, but too focused on my career path that I was going down. Like, I was getting really a ton of opportunities in the world that I wanted to be in, which was not exactly like the fitness steroid world. So I was just like traveling, getting drunk a ton, gambling a ton, and I just like wouldn't be working out or dieting. So now I'm like kind of trying to come off. So right now, yeah, it's like 900 test. But I got smaller on that cycle. I started at like whatever 230, and I took that cycle, and I'm 210 pounds.
Well, just to be clear, it's because you didn't work out.
Yeah, and I didn't eat. I didn't work out. It's not this. It was my fault for sure. But
so that's an interesting thing, because a lot of kids think they're just gonna take and just be big.
Oh no.
Which there are probably outliers there are people genetically who just will take. They're not just gonna grow a magic muscle, but they're likely going to hold on to muscle without trying very hard.
Yeah.
But like for most people, I think it's important, because I think a lot of people think they're just going to get on steroids one day and just be jacked. Does not work that way.
Oh, not even close.
At all.
Even if you start off super skinny and you take steroids, like it's really not going to get you that far. Like you might put on some water and like a tiny bit of muscle, but like if you're not everyone's different, but at the very least you have to work out like 3 days a week and eat a lot of food, even if it's dirty. Like you have to kind of be trying a little bit, which I failed to do. So now like I just got gyno now and high blood pressure, which sucks. But it's
I can't lie, but whoa, why are you taking 1 gram of test?
Bro, I can't just hop off of a 1.5 grams. I would be depressed right now. It takes time, and also it also the EQ is still in my system. Like it takes forever to get EQ out. So
yeah. That's funny. Just that you could take 250 and be good.
Oh yeah, I feel great at 250. That's when I feel best. It's like 200, 250, and this is it. That was my last big blast, and I wasted it, which is unfortunate. Like my androgen receptors are probably fried after that. Like it will never be the same. But I don't plan on going above like 500 tests ever again, because I'm not really dialed like that. Like when I used to be into it, like I would work out 6 days a week, and I'd eat 300, 400 grams of protein a day, and like really try and grow. And now I just don't give a shit. Like I have pretty much, like why do I need to be bigger? Wait, I guess you're 260, right?
Well, I'm like 255 right now, but yes, I lost some weight.
And that's what you feel best at. Like that's
it's just easy for me, to be honest.
That's where your body's meant to be at.
It's easy to hold it after all these years of training. It's easy to hold it.
Did you start off fat or what?
Oh, I was so skinny, bro.
And now you're 260, and that's just, I guess it's been a long time.
I mean, bro, I'm 35, and I started when I was 15. It's been a very long time. And I never really, like, the most I ever weighed was about 280. But I always, throughout my entire career, like whether I looked freaky or less freaky, I was always around the same weight. My weight never fluctuated crazy. My body recomp just kind of changed.
Yeah, I feel best like way like 200 pounds. I feel solid. And I don't.
You're taller than I thought you were going to be, by the way.
Yeah,
yeah.
A lot of people say that. I don't know. Maybe because I don't post my legs.
Yeah, it's strategic, you know.
Yeah, I mean, bro, like, and it also is even more viral. People are like, "Where are his legs?" I'm like, dude, I don't even train them. I probably hit legs like once a month. Like,
you don't have small legs though.
Yeah, but I mean, like, for a gram of testosterone.
Yeah,
like,
it's pretty funny though. Why did you think you had to take that much? Like, where does these 40 and 60 and test and eat? Like, where does that even come from?
I had to, but I was like, why the not? Like, if my blood work isn't like completely like, I might as well. And people are like, oh, you're gonna die by 40. Like,
wasn't that what Greg said recently, right?
Yeah, Greg and I have like a back and forth going, kind of. I never have reacted to a Greg video, but I was blacked out in Mexico, and I reacted to one of his videos, and so now people think we have beef. But no, Greg is a big critic of mine. But no, a lot of people are like, oh, you're going to die by 40. And it's like, that's the bodybuilders that take grams of steroids for years. Like if you take a gram, 2 to 3, 4 grams of steroids until you're 30, then yeah, maybe we have a problem. But I was like, this is my last one. I'm just going to try it and see how it feels, see like what's going to happen. And it was not a positive experience overall, but on my own accord, like I didn't make the most out of it. But yeah, I got smaller, I got gyno, I lost a bunch of hair, and definitely less healthy now. Like my lipids are, but you know, that's
you fix that.
Like yeah, bro, it's easy to fix, and it's also these are the games we play. Like I knew what I was signing up for. It's not like I'm like that had no idea how these compounds affect my body, and so I made the decision to do it, and it was a decision, and now now
that's the thing. I just think I feel like most kids just they see it, they don't get it though. They don't understand all the consequences. They just think,
definitely not. Well, especially you see a video like that doesn't really outline the consequences of it. But dude, come on, like everyone like kind of knows. Like no one's so stupid where it's like like people like to play dumb, but it's like everyone knows it's bad for your heart. Everyone knows it's bad for your kidneys. Everyone knows you're gonna lose hair. Like people know, but like kids just don't give a. And that, bro, like you didn't give a when you're 16. Like when you're 16, it's just like I'm gonna take the drugs and it's cool. Like it's just like
I waited longer than that, but yeah.
But the point is like young kids just and people my age. I'm 22. Like it's just like we feel very invincible, and to a degree we are. Not
some people get though fast.
Yeah, I guess I should knock on wood. I could drop dead on this podcast. Like
nah, you won't. I think you'll be great.
Yeah,
but some kids do take it. It really adversely affects them, and that's the fucked up part. I think those kids are gonna find out the hard way real fast.
Yeah, which sucks, but also at the same time, it's not like you can't like you can just stop taking steroids. But some people don't really pay attention. Like one guy I used to watch on the internet. His name is like the Delt Daddy or something. I don't know. He said he took SARMs from 16 to like 22.
So early, bro.
Never got his blood work done once, and then he had a heart attack at 21, 22. And those are the people that are really the ones that like don't get the like physical, like you don't get acne, you don't get like
but you get all this
hair loss, but like inside but you don't check, and then those are the kids that like
actually. Do you get your blood work done?
Yeah, I get my blood work done pretty much every month actually.
Yeah, solid.
Super frequently. Good. Like I'm pretty on top of it as much as I can. And right now I'm not that healthy, to be honest, but like as expected. Like people see my blood work, I posted my blood work, and people just like tore me apart. Like, you're 22 years old, how do you have that many red blood cells, yada, yada, yada. And it's just like, when you're on cycle, that's how it goes. Like, you can't be on cycle and healthy. Especially Greg, bro. Greg was telling everybody I had leukemia and like chlamydia, and I was like, my blood.
Wait, why chlamydia? Based on what?
Because I had like extra white blood cells in my urinalysis, which is like happens when you have chlamydia, but it can also happen for like a million reasons. So now everyone thinks I have chlamydia, which is
that's kind of funny.
Yeah, I guess it's like funny, but like what the Greg and Greg knows, bro. It's not Greg stupid. Like he knows what he's doing, but it's good. I think Greg's great because it's like he's turned into a hub for the haters of like because without like a structure to the haters, they kind of lose potency. But now Greg, like everyone can go to Greg to get on their favorite influencers, and it makes everything more viral. It makes me more viral because everyone like I get so many comments now of like people coming from Greg videos, and they're like, "You're a piece of shit, this and that." It's like the haters are back. That was another thing when I wanted to go viral. I was like, I need something. Like when I started doing the steroids, it's like I need something that's gonna get me a lot of haters. Like as many haters as I have supporters is good. And then the haters kind of fizzled out, but Greg has brought them back like full force. It's sick. I love Greg, even though he continuously on me pretty hard. I love him. I think he's great.
Yeah. But he gets the game. I mean, it's the internet. Your name's popular on YouTube. Type it in, get some views. That's how it's been forever.
Yeah, bro. And I mean, like, he's got 2 million subs. Like I can't complain. Like he's got his own platform. Like I benefit from it too. Like use my name all you want, and anyone can use my name for any reason. Like it's just more views that I don't have to work for. Because every view that I have to work for is like my last video took 26 days to make, probably $30,000. Like that's a pain in my ass.
Traveling and what?
Yeah, traveling, just drugs, alcohol. Like
what drugs?
Lot of Xanax in the last video.
What, because of traveling or just for fun?
Just because I was in Mexico, and it's like Xanax and Ritalin is like the Mexico experience. Like that's what you do, bro. No. That's you were in Cabo too. We all know you were ripping Xanax and Ritalin. A ton of it too, Bradley. We all know that's how it goes in Mexico.
No.
But it gets expensive for sure. So that was the last video. And then gambling is, I count gambling as I'm going to try and write off my gambling losses as a business expense. I'll talk to my accountant about it.
That would be incredible.
Yeah, it would be awesome.
Wow.
I allocate like 30,000-40,000 a month just to lose gambling for content. So I'm prepared. So it's not like devastating.
All right, guys, quick interruption for the podcast. VersaGrips, check this out. If you guys have been looking for hand grips, or if you use like the wrist straps, whatever it is, there's tons of different versions of this stuff. VersaGrips has been around, like, honestly, since I first started training. I remember it was probably one of the first products that I noticed. I was like, this is actually a good product. Super, super high quality. But basically what it is it's a strap that hooks on your wrist essentially with a nice, like, solid Velcro. It gives you like a strong material, like a rubber feel that can wrap around the bar so that when you're hitting back, I mean, I've even done it wrapping around the bar and I'm hitting chest, but it allows you to think less about your grip. And when it comes to like bodybuilding and building muscle, as far as creating like a strong mind muscle connection or just getting the most out of that workout, a lot of times if you grip super hard on the barbell, when you're doing like rows or movements like pull-ups, etc., you're engaging a lot more of like your front delt. So your body's ability to develop your back properly is hard for so many reasons, because number one, you can't see it, so it's harder to get a full contraction. But certain grips like this one, the VersaGrip, allows you to like wrap the bar and almost just like hold instead of squeeze really tight with your hand, so that you can get the most out of your back and your back muscles when you're working, even curls essentially. But VersaGrips is a really good tool that allows you to get the most out of your back workouts, bicep workouts. Like I said, even I've done it for chest. So give it a shot right now. Go to versagrips.com, put in Bradley15 to get 15% off. I'm assuming the entire order, but give it a shot. Check it out. Some of the best grips on the market. Let's get back into this podcast.
Because a few months ago, or like last month, I lost like $250,000 in one night on one stream.
Oh my!
And I wasn't sponsored by any casinos at the time, and it was genuinely devastating. Like, and it fucked up a lot of stuff with my clothing brand. Like, that was money I did not have to lose.
Yeah.
So after that experience, I've smartened up a little bit and like kind of like set up a gambling budget that I could like lose and be happy with.
You know, it's funny. It just reminded me of Steve, bro. It just reminded me of my buddy Steve will do it.
Yeah,
a gambling budget's hilarious.
Steve, he just texted me the other week. I'm hopefully gonna do a collab with him at some point.
Yeah, it'd be good. You should, for sure.
Yeah,
Pretty
he's
funny.
Dope. He was also one of the guys I watched growing up. He's been around for ages too, like 6 years, right? At least.
Yeah. We've been him and I film content. Yeah, 6 years.
Well, I remember the first seeing you. The joke was like, "Oh, Bradley Martyn sold me drugs" or something, right?
Yeah,
that was super viral. That was the first time I ever saw you.
Yeah, that was probably about 6 years ago. It's crazy how many different like iterations I've done on the internet, like different timelines. But that was one of the most viral jokes. People still come up to me today and they're like, "Yo, you sold me drugs or whatever." Like, what the?
It's sit like kind of old pretty fast after this many years of.
You know how it started was because back when I was literally your age, I used to sell steroids.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that, bro. Because you seem like such like a mature, like not like necessarily like a square, but like just like a very in-line person. So I thought it was a complete troll. I thought it was completely
No, so I told Steve that once and then it just became a joke. But it's not like I didn't sell drugs in the moment.
Yeah.
It was years ago, and like that's how I made a little extra money. And like he was just like, "Oh, this is it," and he just would run with the joke.
That's awesome. That makes the joke 10 times funnier that you actually sold steroids.
Yeah. That back in my day, man, like made them and everything.
Oh, that is so sketch, dude. Just you selling people homemade steroids.
Well, it was originally it was because I wanted them that were cheaper. I wanted them to be cheaper for me.
For yourself.
Yeah. And then it wasn't like I was like going up to people like, "Yo, you want to buy some steroids?" It was just like friends who were like, "Oh, I want some too," kind of.
Well, I mean, it's also like it's obvious. Like you see you, and it's like he's taking steroids. Like I have people even ask me to buy steroids for me, and I'm not nearly as large as you. Like I can imagine a lot of people would see you and be like, "That's where I need to buy steroids."
Yeah, from. Stupid. So as far as content, right? What do you enjoy making the most? Doesn't sound like fitness.
I hate fitness, bro. I'm gonna work out after this just for the YouTube video, just to like make that section of my audience happy, because like I'm still like the transition out of being a fitness influencer, I'm doing super slowly so that I don't like completely chop. Like if I just chopped it out of my content entirely one day, I would lose my whole following and it would be really difficult. Like the engagement would be dog. Yeah. So like I kind of been like churning it slowly. So I add like a minute of fitness in my stuff. It's just a workout edit, but I do gambling mostly. Like
it's so fun, bro.
And I've always loved it.
I hate that it's so fun.
Do you gamble a lot or?
I mean, I do. I don't even like to say that. I don't like to say I gamble a lot, but when I have opportunities to gamble, I gamble.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my go-to now is gambling because I've always, when I was in college, pretty recently, I loved gambling and I just didn't think I wanted to be a fitness influencer for whatever reason. That was like my calling. So I never posted about it, but I kind of like did it here and there on my content and people like thought it was funny. And I was like, whoa, I like this more than fitness anyway. It's like, I might as well just start gambling and post about it more. And now most of my videos involve like a large amount of gambling. I would say it's at least 70% of my content is gambling.
It's pretty funny.
And bro, it's gambling. I do a lot of crypto stuff.
What about like in-person gambling? Do you do a lot of that?
Oh, I like the online way more. I don't know why. Like
you don't like blackjack? Blackjack in person is so
blackjack
fun,
in person is great, but that's the blackjack and roulette in person are fun. But there's something about it doesn't hit the dopamine receptors the same as the games they have for online. And I know online gambling is like way probably pretty rigged and like way worse odds, but there's something about it. Like we were in Vegas like a month ago and we were doing roulette downstairs and I just got bored and we just went up to the hotel room and gambled online like all night long in the Bellagio because I just like online gambling way more. But no, I mean, in person is fun here and there for sure. That's your is blackjack?
I love blackjack. It's just fun. I think the vibe of it is fun. Like obviously the online stuff I like as well, but the vibe of like sitting down, like chilling is just, I enjoy that a lot.
And it's also a nice experience, like, because the casino like sucks your balls and like you get free drinks and that whole thing.
Yeah, they want to keep you there.
Yeah, it's a nice like experience, but I don't know, something about online.
So the most you've ever lost, you said was 250,000?
Oh yeah, one night. It was all on a live stream, and that was at that time. That was all my money. That was my life savings at the time. So that was.
That's on what game?
Plinko. I played Plinko.
No, that's the worst game.
No.
Oh
you don't get it, Brad. You don't get it. Plinko's lit.
Yeah.
You just don't get it yet. The dopamine, that shit, and then it like darts out and almost 1,000 X's and then goes in. No, bro, it's the best game ever.
That game is toxic.
In the last video, so in the last 3 weeks, I've wagered $6 million on Plinko alone. I was running the numbers. Like I cannot get enough of Plinko. I love that. But I did Plinko for about 40 hours straight on stream, lost my life savings, and that was actually pretty recent. Yeah, like it was like 2 months ago, maybe. But we've since recovered in Plinko, dude. Plinko, you just got to give it time.
Yeah, it's classic gambling. Give it time.
I gamble more responsibly for sure now, but that was my biggest loss for sure.
What's your biggest gain?
Not that much. In one night. In one night, probably 70,000.
Okay.
So like nothing, and that was actually in the last YouTube video.
Doesn't that?
But after the $200,000 loss, I lost my life savings, and actually, so this shirt I'm wearing is my clothing brand. I was supposed to pay the manufacturer for the clothes, but when I was gambling, I was f***ed up on, I think it was Xanax and cocaine, and so I just was like, yeah, I'm spending the manufacturing money. So I spent the clothing manufacturing money on it. Lost the clothing manufacturing money, and then I texted my buddy, borrowed 15 grand to pay the clothing manufacturer, lost that on Plinko again, like a week later, and so then I sold all my jewelry, took $25,000. This is all documented on my YouTube, by the way. Took $25,000, put it on black, and it hit, and then so I had the 25 to pay the clothing manufacturer, and since then, so that was like pretty much the luckiest thing. If that didn't hit, I'd probably have killed myself. I don't know what the I would have done after that. But that series of events, that actually, it was a net positive losing that 200,000 because that event went so viral just because of how outrageous it was. And I was just doing a ton of drugs at the time. So because obviously no clear-minded person is going to partake in.
Especially Plinko.
Bro, I was doing well when my friend sent me the 15 to pay the manufacturer. I did $15,000 Plinko balls.
No,
And I lost it immediately.
like
it-
boom, 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 done.
right away. It was 5 minutes. It was all gone. So I've
game.
smartened up a lot more. But no, dude, Plinko's awesome. I will forever stand by Plinko. Like even though I've played it for, that's actually kind of sad to think about. The amount of hours I've sat just like my space bar on my computer.
It's got a little worn down a little
It's
bit.
worn down from Plinko balls, just spamming spacebar too much.
I love it, dude. I actually hate it, but I don't. Why not just like why not a better game? Like
It's the best game. There's
No,
no,
bro.
dude. I get it. Something about the animation and the noise, like the way it tickles my brain. I cannot.
why not
stop.
like smaller bets, like smaller, you know?
Well, because that's stupid. It's like then it doesn't like hit the but bro. Because I'm sure you have shared this experience to a degree. Once you up the bet, regardless of how much money is in your bank account, that's the new baseline. Once you've gambled, once you've done $100 blackjack hand for a few hours, never again in your life can you do a $50
I
hand.
hate that. That's
You to get the same dopamine, it has to be higher, even if you don't have money in your bank account. So it just gets out of hand, and eventually, like,
Are you not worried about your gambling getting out of hand?
No, bro. Well, now I'm sponsored by a casino, so I get paid to do it. So that's really like people like to get on me for that, but really, I still gamble all real money. But that's the only way that you can beat the casino is by effectively working with the casino, because now they pay me to use their casino. So I take a portion of what they pay me every month and I set aside savings. This is my personal money, and then I have 40 of it. Like I could lose this and we're cool. And so now it's like I'm guaranteed to come out on top. Even if I rinse the whole 40, it's no problem.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess like as my bets need to grow, like then we might run into problems, because then maybe the 40 is not enough to lose.
So to the critics and the haters, what do you say to them when they're like, oh, well, you promote gambling, it's bad?
Well, bro, I always promoted gambling. I was just getting for it before. Like I still lose the same. It's not like my account is all of a sudden winning more money. I still lose the same amount of money. Well, I would lose more now because I gamble higher stakes. I've always promoted, I've always lost. But now I'm not getting, at least my mental health isn't taking a toll. My businesses aren't taking a toll because of I've always loved gambling. At least now I can win doing it, even though it's the same thing. But if you watch my content, if you watch me lose $200,000 playing Plinko in one night, and then you say, I want to do that. Like, that doesn't make any sense in my head. And you could see that I was like visibly depressed on that stream, like really the chat spamming, like go to bed, like calling my friends, like, yo, go get him out of his room. Like at one point my roommate was like knocking on my door and it was locked. And I was like, I can't talk right now, I'm busy. Like the whole world could see that I'm just like up on Xanax gambling. But there's nothing about that experience or watching that makes it look fun. Yeah. Like there's the viral clips where I win and those go viral, but that kind of where I'm losing goes just as viral, and you see that. Like I don't know how you could possibly consider that promoting gambling.
Yeah, just that it's out there, but also to that point is like I think it's there's a line of like, you have to be responsible for yourself, not you necessarily. Mm-hmm. I mean, you obviously, myself, everyone. But like you said, if someone can watch that and then think this is a good idea, I'm gonna go put this amount of money, and like also understanding when you're very candidly saying, I get paid from a casino to do this. Obviously, not everyone has that opportunity, so they're gambling with their only money. Maybe it's not a good idea unless you have the same sort of circumstances, or unless you're smart and you know when to say when. Because I get like gambling in a lot of cases, it's like, it's fun. It's like someone considers fun this or that. Now, the problem with it is that people get so like the dopamine, like you said, trying to chase it, that they can't control themselves in it. But it's like, then just be better at controlling yourself, I guess.
Yeah, well, exactly. Like, how can I sit here and try and like, what happened? Well, if you're an adult, get your shit together and figure it the fuck out. But if you're a kid, like, what happened to their parents, like, being responsible for like their kids and teaching them? Like, why all of a sudden do people try and place the responsibility on people like myself, like, you need to be a better role model and to show these kids, like, it's like, you be a better role model. You go and make a video and tell people that gambling's bad. Because, bro, anyone can post anything on the internet. There's always going to be a bad influence and there's always going to be a good influence. Like, if you want a difference to be made, you go be the good influence instead of telling me to stop being a bad one. Even though I don't think I'm a bad influence by any means. I will maybe... like, not necessarily like,
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. It's just because, I mean, just truthfully, we're in a day and age where kids just see anything and they just go, I'm going to do that without thinking. But you're right. At the end of the day, it's like, why does that kid think that that's a possibility? Is no one teaching them that you should think about this a little bit more deeply? Or is it just that a kid is just going to be a kid and they're not going to even listen, even if someone tried? So there is that like double-edged sword that's just kind of like, there is somewhat of a responsibility, but at the end of the day, like, we're all responsible for ourselves.
Yeah.
And I think, though, truthfully, I think we've gotten to a point where, because, like, listen, we're not going to control, like you said, who the posts what on the internet, right? But some kid's parents should be like, yo, maybe you shouldn't watch that, or maybe you should understand that if you're going to watch that, also get that, teach them that this is actually not a good thing for you or for most people, right? But everyone, you're right. We've gotten to this point where it's like, let's blame everyone else but ourselves for our problems. And that's that. So I don't have problems because it's that person's problem and it's that person's fault. Yeah. And it's just kind of like, dude, go yourself.
Yeah. But honestly, like, yeah, they'll learn, dude. It's cool. Like, it's honestly better that you learn at 17 years old that gambling is what you'll lose your money all immediately when you only have $300 to your name. It's no problem. Like, 17, learn your lesson, like,
so almost like you're doing them a favor.
Exactly, bro. It's
whoa,
like,
that's crazy.
The kids, no, but seriously, I've thought about this before. It's like, I made a ton of mistakes when I was a kid, and I'm better for it. Like, at a certain point, my parents can't teach me everything. I'm gonna have to shoot myself in the foot a bunch of times until it's finally in my head, and that's how every kid is. You have to. It takes a lot to like really be like, oh, that's not good. I can't do that anymore. And if you get seriously up in the process, like, unfortunate for sure, but that's life. That's the game we're playing.
Yeah. Why do you think we've gotten to a point, from your perspective, because you're young, you know, certain generation, why do you think we've gotten to a point where everyone makes everything someone else's fault?
It's not always been like that.
No, dude, it's so much more like that now because I think it's because of the fucking internet. There's just more. There's more people to blame other than yourself. Like, no one wants to take responsibility now, for sure, more than ever.
Really? I didn't know that, bro. Because my whole adult life of being on the internet, it's always been, I'm the victim. It's not my fault though. Like, somebody else is fucking me. And I always thought that was just how it is. But that's why I thought it was, because I never had that mentality. And that's why like life is almost.
So sorry to interrupt you, but why do you think then, because most people who grow up in that and that's all they know, they just adopt that. Why do you think you didn't adopt that mentality?
That's a good question. I would like to say just positive role models in my high school life. I played sports and like they drilled it in your head, like, work hard for your own. And even the content that I consumed when I was a kid, like, or even not necessarily a kid, like 18, 19 years old, like people like Andrew Tate, even though he gets a horrible rap, some of the things he said, like, really positively affected my life. And one of those being, take accountability for everything you do. Jordan B. Peterson was another big one that I've always watched. So it's a combination of being lucky with the content that I found entertaining, that being like Jordan B. Peterson, and having positive role models in my life, where that's all it took for me to be ahead of ahead of 80% of people my age, was to have the mentality that like, I'm responsible for everything I'm doing and everything in my life is on me. Like, it's on you. That mentality alone put me ahead and will put you ahead, or anybody my age ahead of 80% of people. Just that one thing, even if you're a idiot. I actually took an IQ test recently, and my IQ is, I'm statistically an idiot. Like, I have a below average IQ, but I make more money than 99.9% of people my age just because of like the simple things like that take no intelligence. It's just a mentality, and it will set you ahead of everybody.
Yeah, just taking responsibility.
Yeah, something as easy as that, and it's not even hard. Like you just, I don't know, and I guess I'm just like blessed and lucky to have been led to this path.
Yeah, for sure. That's dope, man. Because most people, it's just like this is happening to me because of that, and this person has that, and I don't have this, so they're a problem, and I don't have to learn anything.
Yeah,
it's weird. It's funny how you don't even have that perspective because like you're just in it. Like
I thought that's how it was. I thought that's how it's always been. But you think it's because
I think it's because of the internet. Because
what exactly about the internet?
So nowadays it's you can hop on the phone like you talked about, not even going on the phone and not even watching content, so you could just be yourself in your content and not regurgitate someone else's. But I think that same concept just for people watching, like everything they see is like someone's, in most cases, highlight reel. So the idea of this is what life could be like, and they look at like a 22-year-old and they're 22 and they don't have what you have, but you have what you have, and they go, man, this guy has this. And then they look at their life and they compare it and they go, oh, I don't have this. I don't have these opportunities. I can't even gamble like that. This kid, whatever it is. And they're relating their life to everyone else's life. And again, that's taking out their responsibility, because then they go, well, I don't have these things. Now, some people will go, oh, okay, I want to get these things. How do I get them? Not just by hating on someone's video on the internet. Okay, let me try to figure this out. Like you talked about making content, picking apart pieces that you like from people and then putting yourself in it. I think what happens to most people, because there's so many people doing this and watching this, that it's just like people see stuff that they want and they focus more on why they don't have it and the fact that someone else has it, rather than trying to figure out how they can get it. So that's what I'm saying. The internet just gives so much more relationship. Like, oh, he's 22 or I'm 16, he's 16, he has this. Like you create these relationships and then go, man, well, I don't have this. And then they just create all these excuses so that they can maintain that mentality of like, well, man, my life's like this. Because it's easier than going like, okay, well, how do I figure this out?
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, actually. And to that point, it's like a lot of people see somebody like me and I'm doing better than them, but yet their IQ is higher than mine. So a lot of people credit a lot of things, I think, to luck. And I think way too much luck. I don't even think luck is real. But a lot of people, I think, because of them seeing people on the internet that are know better than them, but they're doing so much better, there's a disconnect. Like, well, how? That has to be luck. Like, that's the only explanation. Like, there's no way that they have that and I don't, because I'm the same as them.
But look what you did. It's like that. I mean, you're a great example. If you talk about low IQ, you're clearly not an idiot though, because you were able to see. I mean, maybe all the Xanax and the gambling, like, kind of stupid. like you're not an idiot, bro. Like you were able to see like what was successful and go, oh, I could adopt myself into this and I could try this and put myself like in it in my own way. Like that takes a lot to figure out. Most people just go, that guy, he has something I don't have. That's what most people do.
Well, okay, I guess, and also an IQ test, bro. That IQ test, but it's not like I'm like retarded.
Yeah,
like
obviously.
I have enough brain cells to like put A to B together. Like I can make, connect the dots.
C.
Yeah, exactly. well enough.
Yeah. So, okay. As far as like, I guess, your life right now. You have your mom and you have your dad, or you have like a full family?
Yeah.
What do they think about what you're doing? What do they think about the gambling?
Oh, they hate the gambling. Especially after I lost my life savings, like I called them and I was like not like doing super well. And I was like, this is pretty. And they were like, get it the f together. Like, what the f are you doing? Stop gambling. But now they know that I have a strategic plan in which I'm making money from it. So they're happy with the gambling. The drug use they don't love. They hate. They are consistently. We have a really good relationship, so they're like jabbing at me. Like my mom, like we'll be eating dinner, and she's like, "Wow, like that testosterone is making your face so fat." Like kind of like that, like a nice like. So we have a good relationship in that manner. But they would like me to stop using drugs like as soon as possible. But a lot of it they don't see because. My mom saw like a couple of videos of me like talking about like how I do cocaine and like take steroids, and she just like was like, I didn't need to see that. Like, I don't even want to know. Like at a certain point, so she actually asked me, like, should I watch this video? And then like depending on like what I say in the video, I'm like, yeah, you can, like you'll be fine watching that. And then the other stuff, like it's like, yeah, maybe you don't.
Why cocaine? Why you take cocaine?
Oh my God, cocaine is great.
I took cocaine once. I hated it.
Only one time. And you didn't like it.
I hated it.
Were you sober when you did it? Like were you drinking?
I had a few drinks. I just didn't like it.
Do you like any stimulants?
Yeah, caffeine.
Well, like real stimulants, like Adderall.
Oh, like Adderall. I took Adderall once, and this was when I was a trainer and I was selling training, and I kind of liked it, but it felt like it was just too intense, and that's probably why. I think I'm really sensitive to things. Mm-hmm. So when I did that, I think it's too much for me. My body's like, whoa.
Does caffeine like do a lot for you? Like you drink an energy drink and you really like.
It used to a lot more than now. I think because I got so used to them. But if I take time off and come back, yeah, it does a lot. But I'm just the cocaine was just like really intense, and I was like, whoa, this is too much.
I've always been one, like fully, ever since as a freshman in high school, like fully addicted to vices. So like I've always needed something, and I used to smoke weed a lot. Like that was my go-to. And I didn't really realize the negative impact it was having on me and like my mental health. Like weed will like seriously make you just poor and gay, like period. Like smoking weed is the worst drug you can put in your body. And I've said this many times, like that I should put on a t-shirt like weed will make you poor and gay. That once I realized that weed makes you so stupid and like so lazy, I cut it out entirely, but then I was sober and I was like, this is also super gay. So I need something. Yeah. And so I started doing cocaine, and oh my God, ever since then, my life has been like, obviously my heart is taking the toll. Like I know what's going on, and I try like my best. Like I take, whatever, when I'm doing drugs, I take beta blockers like Nibivolol, all that good stuff. I do my best to like stay healthy when I'm doing it, but it's just like you're able to perform at a high level still while using Adderall, cocaine, that kind of stuff. Whereas any other drug on the planet, it reduces every vice except for like the like kind of like not real vices like caffeine, nicotine. That's not real drugs. Like that's not going to do it for me. Like every drug. Like you take Xanax, alcohol, I could go like whatever, heroin, whatever people like to do will not help you be more productive and achieve what I want to achieve. Like I have to work, I'm busy. Nothing that works except for cocaine or
That's
Adderall.
Insane. That's an insane plug. Dude. It's just like, I can't argue because I don't fully understand it. I do get it. Obviously, you take cocaine, you're like up. I get it. You're like wired. But, I feel like you don't see interest in trying to achieve that naturally. You don't think you can?
No, I actually feel really great sober too. Like I am the type of person where it's like, I wish I couldn't sleep. I just love being awake and doing so much. I've always been like, go, go, go. But then you add cocaine on top of that. And it's like it's like in the gym, it's the idea if your pump, like you get a pump, it feels good. But what if your pump could get a pump? That's what cocaine is for me. So then I, take stimulants, and now it's like I'm not even a human anymore. I'm on another level that nobody could compete with. I can now work, like I'll work for 3 days straight just editing videos. Like I edit all my own shit. Like my last video was 2 hours long. It was like, I don't know, like over 10,000 edits. And I just stayed up for like a week straight, which is not good for you by any means. But the fact that I can do that, nobody else, no matter how jazzed you are about life, no matter like whatever. I've seen, you did a podcast recently with Andy Elliott. Like he's jazzed on life. He could not stay up for a week and edit a video straight.
There's no shot. Funny. It's like, I can't argue with it. That's why it's so funny to me. But it's like, I guess you can't do it forever. So I guess at this point it's like, hey, do it while you can, and then get out.
Yeah, that's like I know that it's not a habit in which, and I'm the worst case is I become fully addicted to like hard drugs. So I'm very conscious of like what I'm doing. So I try my best to like
don't start taking meth.
I'm not gonna. Well, I want to try it once, bro. You gotta try it. How are you not curious? You take all these steroids. Like, I'm sure you've taken.
I like psychedelics though.
Oh, well, those are the worst, dude. In my opinion,
how do you not like psychedelics?
Psychedelics are for children. When I was in high school, it was so euphoric doing acid and shrooms and all that good stuff. But as I get older, like, I don't want to alter my reality so at all. Like, I want my reality to still be, this is what I see, this is what it is, and I'm here, I'm present. Whereas I take psychedelics and I'm like losing my mind and I start to go crazy. And I think maybe I had like some, like in high school, I really did a lot of psychedelics and it was like really negatively impacting. Like I was starting to go like crazy, like a crazy person. So it kind of left a sour taste in my mouth.
I get it. That's how I feel about almonds.
About what?
Almonds.
Almonds.
Yeah, I ate a lot of almonds when I used to diet.
The nut.
The nuts. And now I don't like to eat them.
You can't eat them?
Yeah, it's the same. I think it's the same, no?
So yeah, it's probably the same. What? So you do psychedelics?
I love psychedelics. I don't do them all the time.
Like mushrooms or
mushrooms? Yeah, I've done ayahuasca as well.
I heard ayahuasca is decently unpleasant.
Yeah, it was. But it was. No, it was in moments. There was a moment where I was like, please let this stop. I mean, it literally felt like, you know, like a decent mushroom high where you're like, oh, this is chill. This is okay. Like things are kind of wavy. I feel good. I had that for a moment. I'll never forget it. I had it for a moment. And then like almost as if I blinked my eyes and I was like from here to like here.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is bad. This has to stop, man.
Well, that's another problem with psychedelics is it can get out of hand so fast and it's like a miserable experience. You're like, this needs to stop. This needs to stop.
For sure. So the point though, I think in doing that is like you're learning. Like the whole point of psychedelics is to like break through sort of mental barriers or things that you've kind of created. Because the whole thing that's happening is it's like creating new pathways in your brain so that you could think in a different direction. Can normally like the cocaine and all these things is not going to do that. It's going to make you be like, boom, I'm here, like here, more here right now. But that I think is for people who are like trying to learn or get out of a certain mindset. And obviously, if you're in the mindset you want to be in, then maybe psychedelics aren't the thing for you. You know, maybe it's just a ton of cocaine.
But I guess it is. That's how I feel. Is like I feel so like I think so clearly, so sharp. Everything is so like perfect with my mindset that I'm almost scared to alter it.
I get it.
But also maybe that's naive that like maybe I need something like that I don't even know. I've heard a lot of people say they take shrooms and they've learned things and their perspective on things have changed and they didn't even know that they needed it. Like what's his name? I saw Bryce Hall said like he switched up from being like a TikTok, like doing all that weird on TikTok to like changing his brand because he took mushrooms and he didn't even know that's what he needed in his life to be changed. And now he's like a whole new man and he's super happy. So maybe I need it. I don't know. But I don't know. I can't. Do you do other psychedelics like just shrooms and ayahuasca or like?
I did. I've tried acid when I was younger, but I didn't like that too much. It was a little too intense. I'm super lightweight when it comes to drugs.
Except for steroids.
No, even steroids.
Yeah, you're like a super hyper responder. Like
I was so like, and I was always like afraid to do more. Like the cycles you described, I've never ever done that in my life. Never.
Yeah, and well, to be fair, a lot of people would not even consider. I would have imagined you've done it just based off like the physique you've built, but I guess it's like the time is more important than the
time,
dose.
and also just like I also did naturally just like respond so crazy.
Okay,
which I'm grateful for. You know, I can't say anything other than that, man. But yeah, I just was always very hesitant to do more. I was always like, almost like I would get to this point where I'd be like, if I do more, like I'm gonna have like a panic attack.
Okay, yeah.
Like so, maybe my responses, like physically, were really great, but at some point mentally, it would kind of like throw me the off.
How often do you do psychedelics?
I would microdose intermittently, and I haven't done like an actual trip in a while. And I would say that I did the ayahuasca stuff about a year ago now.
Okay, cool.
I've done it 3 times. So a couple times within the last 2 years. But I think I'm due for like a nice trip.
Yeah,
for sure.
Ayahuasca or mushrooms?
Mushrooms, yeah.
And when you do it, do you like are you tripping balls or like a gram?
Like 4 grams.
Okay, so you're tripping balls.
But I try to do it like I don't just kind of like I'm not just taking mushrooms and like chilling. Listen, I'm like trying to like do it with intention. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, what is that like? What do you?
So like I'm trying to do it in a way where I'm intentionally taking them and thinking, okay, what do I want to figure out? Like I put that in my
Okay.
mind before I go into the mushrooms.
Yeah.
Instead
like,
of just like
plan out
taking
your
them,
thoughts.
like I'm not just taking them and going to like a rave or something, you know?
Okay. And you do them alone.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's the best way to do it if you're trying to grow from it. Like do it alone.
Yeah. Cause like
then you can get your
psychedelics is
thoughts.
low key kind of like mushrooms for your brain.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Steroids for your brain.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people everyone that preaches mushrooms like really say it has massive benefits for your mentality in your brain. But like,
And
for
even
me-
even in the microdosing stages, it's like you don't even need to be like in this crazy trip to get a benefit from it.
some people describe it as better than cocaine, as like when a microdose, like you take a little bit and you're like really jazzed, really euphoric, really outgoing. I've never experienced that. Mushrooms I've done at least 10 times, and every time
Like
it's
a
just
large amount though.
The most I've taken was 3.5 grams, and I was tripping way harder than I needed to be. Like,
Yeah.
like division, like it couldn't see. Shit. I
Had
was-
you ever tried a microdose?
I think
Like
I
where you don't technically,
misinterpreted-
you don't really feel anything. That's like the sweet spot.
I think I thought I was microdosing. Like I did it like one time, and I was like, yeah, I'll take a microdose, and I think I did like almost a gram,
Yeah.
which is a little bit more than like
It
a real
is.
microdose. So I've never actually microdosed. Maybe I'll try that. Well, probably not though. But psychedelic, I don't see myself ever doing them. Again.
Yeah, I mean, you seem to be in a good spot for what's happening in your life right now. Maybe just leave it, you know.
Yeah, maybe if
I think you
if
got to be
it's-
called to it. Like this is something I want to switch this up, or I want to alter my perspective a little bit, you know.
Yeah, I feel like if I'm like forcing myself into it, I'm not gonna get anything out of it, and
No.
then like I'm just gonna like watch cartoons and like or like freak myself out. I don't know.
Yeah, you probably freak yourself out watching cartoons. I couldn't do that, bro.
No, dude, I used to love that.
You
when I
probably
was in
take
high
mushrooms and go
school.
stare at the mirror, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, oh, dude, you look like a lizard.
Like,
It's
I
the
can't even
best.
look at myself in
Well,
the
it's
mirror.
not the best anymore, but when I used to do it, like I used to love that. Yeah.
What got you into steroids to begin with?
Bro, I've talked about this before, and people are surprised. Like Lex Little, Alex Eubanks, like the natties, bro. David Lade. Well, I don't know if he's natty, but all the people that like coming up. I'm 18 years old, and I see these people, and it's like, okay, I this is my dream physique. Lex Little. I want to look like Lex Little. He's been working out for 8 years, and I'm sitting there like 19, 20 years old, and it's like, I'm gonna look like that when I'm 27. Like that sounds so like I cannot wait that long. So it wasn't the people that blasted gear. It was the natties that I wanted to look like, but I didn't have 8 years. So I saw them, and pretty much like I only worked out for like a year, and I was like, you know, this like I'm taking steroids.
That's like kind of hilarious. Like so not like I don't think that's a good idea in
Oh,
most
yeah,
cases,
no,
but it worked out for you.
For me, luckily it worked out. But I also like I got a coach, and I did it in a way where I was like, we're gonna just like dabble, and we'll see if this is for me. And after like a month, I realized like I responded really well to them. Like I wasn't getting horrible like physical side effects other than my blood pressure. And of course, I was taking like 300 tests, like
Oh yeah,
just like
oh you did actually
normal,
start.
like normal, like, and then like maybe a little Anavar at the end of the cycle. And I responded really, really well. So I was like, now I can kind of like test it a little bit more.
I didn't expect that from you. I thought you would have went 100%.
Well, if I
That's
did
like
it
the
on my
most
own-
responsible thing we've talked about. That's dope, dude.
Well, I do think like everyone should have a coach when they're doing steroids, because it's really like you'll really ruin your life without even knowing it. Like even
Yeah.
when, because the closest I've been to losing my mind is when my hormones are messed up from steroids, and if I didn't have a coach that I could text, like freaking out, like what the is going on? Like why can't I think right? And it's like, oh, your estrogen's too low or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
That is like something I've always really preached and always was scared of when I first started taking steroids. Is like, okay, if I'm gonna do it, like at the very least, I know it's not smart to take steroids a year into the gym. At the very least, let's not die, be stupid about it.
Yeah.
So that's, overall steroids have been a very, very positive experience for me, despite, now I don't like necessarily have the physique to like back up taking the steroids that I take, and I have to get like surgery on my tits or whatever. But it's done a lot for my life, and a lot for the mental side of things, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't have low testosterone, but I had, like, I don't know, the difference between having 300 nanograms per deciliter and 5,000. Like, when you're at 5,000, nothing can stop you. So it's just done a lot for my, like, and even just as something as small as like your confidence, like having high testosterone, you're productive, you're confident. Productive, confident, that's all you need to be ahead of 90% of people. Yeah. And so just testosterone, that's all it took.
Yeah, it's actually interesting. That's I would say, as far as steroids go, my experience too is like, that's the one thing that, you know, people don't really always necessarily think about or talk about, because they think just physically, right? What's going to happen to them, or like sport wise, whatever they're going to be able to gain from it. But the mental aptitude is just like increased to a different level. I'll never forget 100%. That. I mean, that was the thing that I remember being when I first was starting. I was like, whoa, you could feel like this. And I hate to say that, because like, it sounds like I'm promoting it. Yeah. But it's just genuinely like, I remember thinking exactly what you just said. I was like, holy shit, it's just different. But at the same time, it's like, it's just also, if you're going to make those choices and those decisions, you have to be smart about it. Get your blood work done, make sure you're doing the right things, and like, look where you're getting your information from, and be sure that it's something you really want to dabble in, because it does affect the rest of your life. You know, like, it can really affect the rest of your life. And for some people, it can really adversely affect them pretty quickly. So just that little note for people out there. I'm not saying go ahead and just take it, but that's the one thing to steroids that I think most people don't even think about, is the mental.
Would you take steroids if they didn't make you more jacked? Just the mental sides?
That's a good question. Holy shit, I've never thought about that.
I would, no doubt.
Yeah, I think if I only got that from it.
But no, you also like the negative too.
Okay.
Everything negative, everything steroids bring, except for the muscles, doesn't make them bigger.
That's a dope question. Yeah, I think I would.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because I just like that feeling. I think it's the same thing you're talking about. Obviously, cocaine is different. You get it in more of like an acute manner, but it's the same concept of like, oh, I'm doing this. Like, I'm not like nothing like that. I mean, that's testosterone. I mean, that's why men are men, right? They have this, I'm going to conquer, I'm going to achieve. It's that mentality is like from testosterone.
Yeah, no, I think testosterone is the best drug on the planet. And well, I mean, for me, other people might have a horrible experience with it. Like I said, like, it can make, as good as it can make you feel mentally, it can make you feel just as
I like how we're trying to be responsible about this.
Yeah,
it's like really nice.
I've turned a new leaf as an influencer. Good. Like, from those videos to now, 8 months, it's been a big change that I'm proud of you. Trying to at least give steroids like a fair review for what they can do, because it used to just be like, they're awesome and everyone should take them, which is viral for sure, but it's not. That's not the full story. And now, but I guess it's easy for me to say now, because now I'm where I want to be, and like, I'm on the right path. So I'm not like that. I'm not so hungry. Like, I'm hungry, but it's not like the old me that was poor and wanted to make it on social media. It was like anything, whatever it took. Like, that is what it took. And I thought that was cool. I enjoyed making that stuff. But now I'm a whole new, and it's kind of almost to a certain degree, it's kind of sad that version of me is like gone. I don't know how to describe it, but it feels like it's like that part of me has like been gutted out of me, and now I'm here, and like that version of me, like, how do I describe this? I talked about this recently. It's like, I don't know if you can relate to this at all, but when you like achieve something that you've wanted to achieve, in the process of doing that, it's like the death of your old self, and that version of you that was so hungry, it was like, work so hard towards this, he doesn't get like the closure, because now like you're a new you. Now you're reaping the benefits of it. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
So it's kind of
sounds like you're a little mushroomy, talk. I like it.
It's kind of a weird, like it's talking about that. I missed that kid that would like promote steroids. And
what
like,
part about it because it's the journey thing. It's it's the time in between.
Yeah, it's specifically the part that is like I miss is the romance to the struggle. Like, every day you wake up, and like in that time I wasn't necessarily, I don't think I was happy at all. I was upset with where I was, but it was like I didn't like where I was, but I knew I needed to do this to get where I'm wanted to go, and I would work so hard every day, and I was so hungry for it. But now that I'm here, it feels like that exact version. It's like I'm living on two. This is really mushroomy. It's like I'm living on two different dimensions of my past self. Would daydream about my exact self so vividly that it was like I'm today a real person to him, and now today I'm looking back at him and he's dead. If that makes sense.
Well, you're also really accurately describing like how you got here. You had intention in it. The fact that you just said you then thought about you now, exactly kind of how it is before you ever had it. That is you believing like intentionally that this is going to be my life. And that exact thing I spent my entire sort of childhood doing before any of this was even a possibility. Before there was Instagram, I remember thinking, I wanted my life to be this way. I remember writing about it, all these ideas. Like I remember writing, I literally have a picture of me. I don't even know how old I was. Not a photo of me, but a picture of something I wrote in a journal. It must have been like my early teens, where I was like, I'm gonna have a house with a pool and like 2 pit bulls. And when you see, I'm literally living that life.
Well, it's so the law of attraction, like the difference between daydreaming, like, oh, that would be cool, but thinking about something and it being real. Like when you were drawing that picture, you today, that was real. Like that existed somewhere out there. And this version, you've attracted it. And the law of attraction, a lot of people think it's like fugazi, but it's the number one attribute that I attribute all of my success to the law of attraction, just like making that real. It's so real in your head. And a lot of people just can't really picture and like envision what they want like it's an actual thing. It's more of like just a daydream. Yeah,
like, oh, this would be great, and then that's kind of it.
Yeah.
Like I remember someone told me once, like, how you want it to be, like, for example, let's say you have a car that you really want. Sit in your car, close your eyes, pretend what it will feel like imagine yourself in the car, what it will smell like, what it will feel like, how you will be reacting to it. Everything in relationship to like how you feel in a car now, in the car that you want it to be. Go in your car every day, sit in there and think about it and kind of make it real. Because I think what starts to happen is, I know what starts to happen is you start to do things every day in your life that are getting you closer to actually achieving that. Instead of it just being this like bullshit idea of like, oh, I really want that, and that would be great. And then it just kind of passes and you continue on with wherever you're at currently in your life, instead of going like, wow, I'm going to try to really think and bring this into my life and envision what it will feel like, envision what it will be like. Because then it kind of makes you inspired naturally to be like, okay, well, I want that, and I know I want that, and I tell myself I want that. Let me actually, what can I do? What steps do I need to take? And then start actually taking them, instead of just being like, I want what he has, that guy. Yeah. And then continuing on.
I've actually that makes a lot of sense. That I've never thought about it that way, that even like subconsciously you start taking action.
It's happening no matter what.
Yeah. Well, we're moving forward, but I guess I've never thought, like, I've always just been like, it's like witchcraft or something. Like I think it and it happens somehow. But that makes sense that like that there's actually a method behind like what's going on here, like subconsciously.
And the crazy thing about it all is that yes, subconsciously it's happening whether you're aware of it or not. So also too, if in your mind goes like, I suck, I'm gonna lose this, I'm gonna blah 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 that, and it's bearing down, it's being built inside your subconscious, you're also going towards that.
Yeah.
So you have to catch yourself and be like, all right, let me shift my focus. Let me shift my thinking. That was one of the biggest things that mushroom had taught me, like really, really real and candidly. I'll never forget the time that I took a really big dose of mushrooms very early on. And I remember like freaking the fuck out. And then I was like with my buddy Brandon at the time, good friend of mine still. And I remember being like, yo, I'm stuck. I feel like I'm in this weird space. And he's like, oh, here, man, let's get a drink. So we went to like a little Quickie Mart thing, a little 7-Eleven, whatever it was called, like a gas station thing. And he said, here, have this like Arizona iced tea. I'll never forget it. And he's like, it's good. Like you'll like it. And I remember drinking it and being like, oh, this is good. And the second my brain thought of good, my whole entire energy shifted. I felt like open. I felt like, cause it felt like I was being closed in on darkness, and it was just getting worse. And the second I was like, oh, this is good, I felt like, oh wow, this is this is fucking good. I feel good. And I'm not kidding. In that moment, I remember being like, but what if it was bad? And then the second I said bad, I was like, oh shit, I'm starting to feel really bad again, really terrible, really dark. And I realized, wow, is that what happens? Because a lot of stuff that can happen on psychedelics, it's not as if like it's not happening in your regular life. You're just not aware of it. So the words that we use and the things that we tell ourselves are like little spells. It's like, what do we want to tell ourselves? Where do we actually want to be? If you're constantly saying, I suck, you're going to feel like you suck. You're going to act like you suck, and you're going to get more of the that sucks in your life versus being like, oh, this is good. Like your energy speaks to where you are in your life 100%.
Yeah.
From the second I saw you to like this whole podcast, like it makes sense why you have it.
But it feels like I've almost been like blessed to a degree where I started off feeling like almost like my whole life started off just the structure. I've been blessed to be in a positive feedback loop. Like, what would you say to the people that like you feel like every day you wake up feeling like a loser? Like, how do you get around that? Because I've never had to face that specific obstacle.
I definitely probably faced that because for me, it was my like biggest turmoil. I've talked about this before at times, but my biggest turmoil was losing my father when I was young.
Okay.
So when I was very young, I dealt with the idea that like I wasn't good enough, and not that I never directly thought my father killed himself because I wasn't good enough, but I had that weird relationship to him where I was like, why am I not good enough for you to stick around for? And it tormented me. Yeah. And so, you know, I found the gym, and like that was the thing that I remember once I was in there and like I was lifting, I was like, okay, I'm not thinking about this because my brain was constantly nonstop. Still to this day, it's just always on. And so when I was in the gym, I was like, oh, I'm doing this bench press. And I noticed that, okay, that thought kind of disappeared a little bit. Okay. So basically, to answer that question is you're never going to be able to just go like, hey, just stop thinking like this. That's that's never going to happen. But you can put yourself in situations that I don't want to say distract you, but take you out of like where that negative thought is and try to put yourself into something that's just more constructive. And for me, I just found that it was the gym. The gym allowed me to like all this kind of fade away, and that thought didn't continue to bounce around in my head because I had to focus on what I was doing.
Okay. That makes sense.
So the answer is like, you have to just continue to bring yourself to the moment where you are, and not the thought of like, oh, I want to be there, right? Granted, you want to create this picture that you want to live in. You want to create this life in your idea so you can like try to think, okay, this can be beautiful if I'm there. But you also have to have that and not get caught up in that, because then you keep that same like disparity of like, but I don't have it. And then also too, a lot of people do is they think about where they're at and they just hold themselves to there, which is essentially the past. So then you're never like right here. And in the moment is the only way that you can actually go to that spot where you're talking, where you are or where I am or where someone wants to be, where they're like, oh, this is like making me happy. So the key is when you're in those thoughts, stopping those thoughts and being like, all right, well, where do I want to be? Because like we all have that inner dialogue that is like, I suck, I ain't good, I should have said this. What if I said that? She wouldn't have done this, or I could have been here. Or, you know, if I didn't make this, like we all have that. It's just being like, shut that the fuck up and go, okay, if you have to, just focus on your breath in the moment. Where do I want to be? How do I want to feel? I want to feel good. What do I need to do to feel good? Like it sounds corny and cheesy, but truly that's the only way to like start building towards and have that foundation to get to where you really want to be.
And for you, going to the gym is like how you unlocked that.
Yeah, because for me, going to the gym was like, because prior to that, it was just like nonstop this thought of like, why don't I have this? The victim. Why don't I have, like, why is my dad not here when I'm graduating high school and I see all these other kids and their dad is there? Why is my dad not here when I go over to my friend's house and he treats his son this way and I see this and, you know, that's my friend. And well, how come I don't have that at home? And how come I don't have this relationship? Everything was like, why don't I have this? Why am I not good enough to have this? And then I found the gym, and then I found people like other male figures in the gym that were like, yo, you can do this. You like kind of helping me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I want to spend more time here because when I'm here, I feel good. When I'm here, I can avoid that constantly bouncing thought of like not being good enough, and I can just focus on this. And then you get I got some positive reinforcement. So my community that I was in was also really important. So that finding a community that like is actually helping you instead of like having the same friends who are like, man, my life sucks, or bro, that's too difficult. Don't try that. I don't know, man. Everyone does that. Whatever the it is, get that shit out of your life. That's another major thing. because the minute I found that community where like a friend was like, yeah, like, oh, you can do this. You're good at this. You can get better. Oh, try this. And I'm like taking advice and I'm in that moment being like, oh, this feels good because I'm avoiding that. It was out of avoidance. But then it became like, oh, I love this. And it's just, my whole life is from it. So yeah, I mean, for everyone, it's not going to be the gym, but there's some community, whether you have to start that with yourself. And if you find people that don't align or they're not understanding that same idea, that same mindset of like, yo, we can be better. We can be greater. Like you don't have a community with friends who are like, oh no, bro, that's a bad idea. Like that sucks or that's lame. Like you're not going to be able to do it. Like, why would you do it? Like, that's not someone you want in your life.
Yeah. 100%.
You know, so all those things, it's just like, again, it's not always going to be the gym. It's just find what for you is allowing you to create actual space for yourself right now for it to start to be what you want it to be.
Yeah. And then it seems like based off of what you've told me, once you started going to the gym, that was almost like the first time that you saw that you could you could manipulate your reality. Like you go to the gym and you work out and now I have bigger muscles. Like I can do something and get good at it and make a change. So that seems like it would be a great place for someone to start. Like, is find something that you can develop a skill and like
absolutely
realize like, wow, like and it's never short. Like all good things take time. That was a big thing, I guess. Like once you understand that all good things, like nothing good happens in less than 3 months. Like once you understand that idea, you can start embarking on more, because it's very discouraging at first when you do something 100%. For a week and nothing works out. Or nothing changes.
But that's also life. Like you can't expect that. Like that's also 100%. that concept you just described goes back to what I said earlier about like this generation of social media. They think in just everything, like Postmates, all these things that we have now, Netflix, all these things, they're not bad, but they teach everyone that I could have exactly what I want right now. I could order what I want right now. So I should have everything right now.
Yeah.
And so we're fucking the TikTok brain where it's like everything should be right now. They also apply that same because everything in their life can be that way. If you obviously have the financial means, that you then think your life should be this way right now. But it's like that's also just not realistic by any means for anyone. So it's just like getting yourself out of that mindset and understanding that it's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. It's going to take time. Like that's how you get that lasts. That's how you get that is like actually fruitful and beneficial to your life. But people just get so caught up and I want it now because he's got it. Remember I said, oh, he's 22. I'm 22. Why don't I have it? I should have it right now. But it's like you didn't live the same life he did. You didn't do the same things he did. You didn't put yourself into something and you didn't look at a situation and go, okay, how could I be myself in this? Like you just didn't do that. That's what he did. That's what I did. That's what someone else did, right? So we got to get away from the whole comparison bullshit. Like the internet age has just made that so much harder. Because like, dude, these phones are just like, you're like sucked in. You scroll for a little bit. And you're like, whoa, what the f-? Like, you just get locked in. How many you see people out, they're at dinner and they're like, bro, what the f are people doing? Like, that's not getting you. Unless like maybe you're on your phone, you're like trading or you're doing something that's beneficial. You're just locked scrolling. Bro, you're just an NPC.
It's even... People waste their energy so much on even like, do you watch sports? I used to like sports a lot. I like, don't get me wrong. I do watch sports. I do like watching sports, but it's not like I can't go by not watching sports, like, cause I get where you're going with it. It's like a lot of people, they invest their time and their energy in like just other people, like other people succeeding at a sport. Or like video games. It's just like,
I love video games.
But you enjoy video games, but your number one priority is this reality, your life, today. Whereas a lot of people, their number one priority is their fantasy football team. How can I level up my Minecraft bullshit or whatever? I don't really get it. I don't play video games too much, but so many people are so obsessed with every video game that is not this one. And I look at like this life as a video game and like I'm playing this one and this one's fun and this one is actually like nothing is more amazing than being able to like buy your mother something, like a vacation with your mom. Whereas an achievement in a fake video game is so like maybe it's a short hit of dopamine, but like nothing compares to real life video games.
Except for Plinko.
Okay, Plinko, bro. You have to give it a try, bro. Seriously, Plinko. Have you ever hit 1000x on Plinko?
No.
Yeah, that's the problem. You gotta try.
I've won on Plinko, but I've
Yeah.
also just lost every time on
Yeah,
Plinko.
okay. Well, it like it can.
I get
fuck you
it
pretty hard and
because
pretty
I
fast.
watched Steve do it crazy. I watched Steve win a lot of money on Plinko, so not me personally. I watched him do it, so I get it. But I don't know. I would rather play like Sweet Bonanza. I'm just gonna be. I'd rather
Okay, that's
play
fair.
Sweet.
Well, and it's also just different flavors of dopamine. Like, if you don't appreciate the ball like bouncing around, you're never gonna like it. Like for me, watching that ball, it's like get out. It's so exciting. But I get it. Like if that doesn't tickle your brain, I can't force it to tickle your brain. Like you just the slots or blackjack is gonna be better.
Did you ever play what's that bomb game?
Oh, mine's
Yo.
that it makes my blood pressure so high. I can't stand bro. It's traumatizing. That noise of the bomb.
Yeah.
I cannot play that
I
one.
did that for a little bit. I remember me and Steve would go to Cancun and gamble all the time. That was fucking so much fun.
Yeah.
Bro, that was like the sweat on that game.
Oh
you
my
just increase
God,
it, you
so
increase the amount.
Stressful, bro.
I
But
love that.
The feeling of when you like clear the board, like where you get all of it except for the last one, it's just like yeah. So, dude, yeah, gambling is my favorite vice by far. Like #1 peak entertainment. People ask like, because I gamble for work, and somebody in another podcast is like, "What do you do for fun when you're not streaming, not working?" And I was like, "Well, I'm gambling." Like to be honest, if I have free time, like I'm gonna spend it gambling.
What's your amount that you'll gamble like comfortably like with your free time?
So it's way lighter in my free time. Like when I'm on stream, I'll buy in like 20,000 because it's like better for views, and I
Right.
go really hard, like do a bunch of drugs. But if I'm just like sober and I just want to gamble with my friends, like casually, like I'm happy to get like just lose like $1,000 to $3,000 in a night, just like casually, and then. Because like, if I lose 20,000 while I'm streaming, I feel like, okay, I got content. That was good. I'm happy with that. But if I lose $20,000 and I'm just sitting at my desk, nothing out of it, it's like, like come on, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, so I'm happy with just like, and I like the idea of like trying to turn $1,000 into like 100,000, like the really big wins. I think that's why I don't love blackjack, because blackjack is like slower, like double your money or lose, like you know what I mean.
It can get sweaty. I've seen people gamble a lot of big. Both. It's like whatever special tables, but people doing like $30,000 hands.
Well, yeah. To be fair, I've never done high stakes blackjack. Like I've never been there.
We should go to Red Rock with Steve.
Bro, I see the videos everywhere in the private rooms at Red Rock. I've never done that. It's on my bucket list. Like big time is private room at Red Rock, because that's the blackjack experience maybe that I've been missing, is like putting down $10,000 on a blackjack hand, but
bro.
it's so stressful, bro. Like it happens so fast. Like
there's no remorse too. They just go like,
yeah, dude, they don't give a dude, the dealers, oh my God. Sometimes it almost feels like they're like, yeah, that's mine. Like, thank
Bro,
you. They like it gives them a little boner. But
you got to do that.
always.
You'll love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got like watch it. Steve is just a madman. He's
How
a
do
mad.
you just tell them I want to gamble like this much a hand, and they give you a private room? Like do I need to know somebody to get a private room?
Yeah. Normally it's that.
Okay.
Like if we pulled up, it'd be all good. Steve could hook you up too. I mean, you can get linked up with like Hassan or something like that. One of the hosts, they'll let you do it back there.
Let's run it. I would love that.
That would be fun. We should do it.
I would.
Maybe we'll get Steiny to go too.
I'm doing Steiny's podcast tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how that goes. I'm doing it with Sarah.
Oh, okay.
I think
Because he told me we were supposed to do it, but I think because I did you now, he was like, oh.
Yeah, well, he asked me if I wanted to have you on the next day or like some random person. I was like, I guess talking to Brad 2 days in a row, like it could get like kind of repetitive.
Yeah,
or,
it's
like,
all good.
You
No
know,
worries,
it's
no
not obviously not like
My feelings are super hurt. It's okay.
I told him though. I told him I was
kidding.
like, we gotta. He kept blowing my phone. He's like, I want to do RAWTALK first. So I was like, all right, Brad's first, then we'll run Steiny. Well, also like, I don't know. I like Steiny's cool, but like I've like watched your shit forever. Like always been a fan, and like Steiny like kind of just like popped up. I'm sure he's great, but I'm not like a fan of Steiny.
I get you. I get you. Well, I appreciate that for sure. Mm-hmm. Who else are you a really big fan of?
It's a pretty limited list. I guess like people that are where I want to be now, because now I've surpassed a lot of like my old idols that like I used to watch. So like Steve is a big one. I want to be where Steve is. Like I said, I don't consume content like crazy. Jordan B. Peterson, just because he's what he does for my mentality.
Yeah.
But there's not, the list is short just because I don't consume content.
Yeah.
I want to read more books though, but like, bro, so boring. It's so hard to read a book.
Maybe, yeah, I get you. Maybe try audiobooks. You ever thought of that?
Yeah, I do. That's what I normally do. I've found that's the only way I can digest a book. I love David Goggins.
Oh yeah, he's
both
the man.
of his books.
Yeah.
Oh my god, have you read his books?
Yeah, no, I haven't read them, but I listened to them.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess I listened to him too. I didn't actually read them, but David Goggins is like, I can't believe I forgot him. He's probably number one. Like,
I would love to interview David Goggins, bro.
That pod being great. Meeting David Goggins would be something because he's like not human. He's another level of
that guy's a machine, dude.
Insane,
like an actual machine, I think.
So yeah, he's number one for me. His books
really
really did a lot for my life.
What are you gonna train today? Where at?
I was gonna do back. Okay. I don't know where. Do you recommend? Your gym's here, right?
Yeah, let's go train.
Yeah.
I want to train.
Yeah, you want to hit back?
I'm down. I need to train. I actually need to train. Not now, but I've been slacking, dude.
How often? Like what? When's that? Like what's slacking you, bro? Because like I've gone like I haven't worked out in like a month, really. Like yesterday was my first day back.
Like realistically, yeah, like a month. And it's
really?
Like, yeah.
Oh, so you have been slacking.
Heavily.
Doing what, bro? What do you do actually? I didn't ask. Like I don't. What do you do these days? Like you do your podcast.
Yeah.
What else?
I like to just. I don't even. It sounds crazy, but like just be alone, dude. I like to go to the beach with my dogs and like just relax.
Oh, you're on your like old man.
The old man.
No, like not like in a rude way.
Yeah,
like,
because I spend so much time around people that like when I have my free time, like I kind of just want to like chill out.
You are old. That's crazy, bro. Like, well, I'm just saying. Like to me, that's like, you're a grown dude.
That's crazy. That's insane.
The age gap is wild there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
I guess another question I have: Do you ever think that you'd put like your girl or like do you show that kind of stuff online, or is that something you like just avoid?
No, I don't really like. I bring girls on stream and stuff, and like it's good for content. It's funny. It's fun to like. It's like I don't like to be the guy that's like makes fun of girls on stream and stuff, but like I think it's hilarious and it's like good content, and I try and be like as respectful as I can. But I do a lot like I don't. You talk about my personal life too much, but like there's girls on my stream frequently and like in my videos, and that's kind of like the extent that I talk about girls.
Yeah, I get it. I respect that. Because it's like that's like a whole thing, man. Like some people's whole content is like they got a girl.
Yeah, no.
You know?
And also some people's whole content is like on girls, which is like what's his name? That Myron guy? He's got like a podcast.
Yeah, fresh
and
fit.
it just like brings on girls and like stupid whore, OnlyFans, dumb slut. And it's like I guess it's like kind of funny, but like and I'm glad I didn't follow it because when I used to watch like Andrew Tate, Zerka, Myron, it was infecting my mind. It was like, oh, I should like have 100 wives and cheat on my girl. Like I have to cheat on my girlfriend. And I've made a few jokes about it, like, oh, you got to cheat on your girlfriend, yada yada. But like when I used to watch them, it was really infecting my mind, like about like how you're supposed to approach relationships and females on this planet. So that kind of content is, I think, horrible for young men consuming that because it's easy. It's very easy. I don't know if it's like feeding off of the insecurities of younger men, but like it's easy to feel like, yeah, like I'm the guy. Like, girls are dirt, stupid, like just objects. But that kind of content, yeah, I would.
I mean, there's definitely like, I see what you're saying. There's definitely some positive to it, but yeah, I mean, if it's so detrimental that it's just like making you think that women are terrible, it's like then how are you ever going to find a woman that you don't think is terrible if you're constantly thinking all women are terrible?
Yeah, you never will. If you go through life thinking all women are how they're depicted on, because they also bring on like actually like not great women that like talk a lot about like, oh, like I've 150 dudes and like I don't know, like all this crazy that you see, and it kind of like plants a seed like, oh, women are evil. But I mean, there are some, and so there's some evil men out there. Like it's not like a gender specific thing that they make it out to seem. It's Yeah, a two-sided coin for sure.
Yeah. So you're gonna do Adderall with Steiny when you do his pod or what?
Does Steiny rip stimulants a lot?
Come on, man. How do you think he's like? Oh, he's always on.
Dude, I don't know. I'm not, bro. I'm
sure he'll rip one with
I
you.
watched his podcast this morning for the first time to like do my homework and like see what was good with it. And I was impressed with like he gets a lot of like big names on and stuff. Like the only clips I've seen of Steiny are of him just getting on podcasts and like the butt of the joke. So I didn't know that like he had his whole like I don't know his whole like he's doing great for himself. Like I'm really stoked. And he grew up in Boulder, same place as me. So I guess I'll do Adderall with Steiny. That sounds like it would be great for the podcast. I'll text him about it. And
that would go crazy.
Get some Adderall for the podcast.
I think he would probably not want to do it because I don't think he doesn't talk about it as much as. He actually might be pissed when he hears this. I think about it. I might have to hit him and be like, "Yo, can I post that?"
I'm super open about it. Like,
no, I get it, but I think he stopped. But I just listen, Steiny. I got to preface that. I apologize, but I think he stopped. I know he used to do it a lot, and like I think he stopped it. So hopefully, there we go, Steiny. I love you, bro. I don't think he's still doing it. I don't know. You'll have to find out.
We'll find out tomorrow.
Find out next time.
No, but I'm excited.
But yeah, let's go train. Let's do it.
All right, word.
I appreciate you coming for real. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for having me on. This has been it's been on the bucket list for a long time. Like this background, I've watched it a million times. I'm excited. So thank you so much for having me on.
Of course, brother. Thank you so much for coming, man.
Cheers.
You're awesome. That was dope.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.